Support for this podcast comes from the patrons at patreon.com/FMLFPL. Okay! Welcome to Midfield Milan!
This Walsh.
How we doing?
Much more somber Walsh this episode, but
I can't tell, you're smiling.
Moving along. Oh, I'm always smiling. I either smile because it's smile or I'm smile to hold back the tears, you know? This is one of those, but how you doing,
I was
doggy?
thinking about our,
What's
both
up?
of us on Fat Reds, and I was just like, this is really the week we're getting tested. Like, this is, can we hold our nerve? Can we keep our good players? Like, yada, yada, yada. Or
Are you on
we
a fat red? I mean, you got...
Yeah, I'm on
51.
200K.
Right.
I didn't really expect it, to be honest, but I think it's just like my scattered one-pointers. Isak off at half, Nico didn't start, and Hendo just the actual worst pick in the fucking game. Worst player in the league. Dean
I would
Hendo.
have thought for you at 51 would have sort of just treaded water because of how poor
I thought
everyone else did besides Captain Haaland, but I guess,
I thought so.
Everyone's also still at this early stage so bunched up point total wise that every few points is actually like a huge amount of rank.
I bet you I'm like 10 points away from like 150K or something crazy like that.
Well,
how many points
10
are you
points
on?
is a lot. 40.
No, I knew your week was bad. I mean, your overall points.
300. 301.
I know. So 301? Yeah, so you're 11 or 12 higher than me, and you're probably, 300,000 places?
I'm 180K.
You're
so
350,000 places ahead of me. It's
10
insane.
points is a huge amount of points.
Yeah. So, 51. Bad job by me. Aforementioned Dean Hendo. I mean, this guy.
Yeah.
2-1-4-1. Palace defense, complete mess, disaster every game.
Yep.
Trent 1-pointer, Poro 2. Nico doesn't start. I basically had 10 men. I mean, Nico played 10 minutes. So that's the equivalent of 10 men for me.
Every point counted this week. I mean, you had 10 men, but I mean, I had like fucking...
Yeah.
The one-pointers
Eze, got the pen, didn't take it. Yeah, did he get the pen? Didn't get that. Gordon blank, Mo blank.
The Isak situation was
I was fucking running a sausage fest in the park. No one's going to know what the fuck I'm talking about. But I was running orders. I checked my phone. Walsh was like, Isak subbed at half. I'm like, what the fuck? His vision blurred. He's probably fucking concussed. I don't even know. Bloody nose doesn't make your vision blurry. But yeah, it was bad. But, the real worry for me now is I transferred in João Pedro. He's not. Hertzler's a fraud. We're not going to know anything unless he plays in the cup game. Isak's hurt. Eddie's a fraud. We're not going to know anything. Barco's not in the fucking Premier League. And Sangare's hurt. And I'm sitting here. I have 2 frees. I was planning on completely chilling until my wildcard in 6.
Did you
now
wildcard?
It's like, I haven't popped anything. I haven't touched a thing.
You can never tell with you.
No. And
sometimes you throw it on me on the pod like this. It's happened before.
That's true. It's happened
before.
I'm trying to find Pod Boys. Where's the Pod Boys league?
Yeah, we need to spend some time looking at your team.
That'll be more a Thursday thing, I guess. But
well, I mean, it can't be a Thursday thing because if you're wildcarding, you got to do it. That's got to be a now thing.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I already missed 2 rounds of price changes, but who fucking cares?
Price changes.
I certainly don't.
Unless if you're really avoiding drops, which I don't know, maybe you did have a drop, but I don't think
double
I did, price rise,
honestly.
that's not a thing anymore. Like double, triple price risers, that just doesn't happen. They diddle it too hard, and they have their finger on the scale too hard. I mean, it's still you can't possibly lead. You can't point to anything other than Solanke to indicate how fucking fraudulent this game is, right?
What, he went down once or not even?
He has not price changed. He's had 2 million sales and he hasn't price changed. They just
That's
mispriced
wild.
him they mispriced him conceivably if he was on Spurs. So they're just like, we're just not going to price change. We're not going to change his price.
Game week 2,
that's what it is.
855,000 transfers out. Game week 3, 800,000 transfers out. Game week 4, 350,000 transfers out. No price change.
No price change. So,
nice.
I mean, that's why they don't tell us the formula, because there isn't one, and they just do whatever they want, and they make a mistake.
Actually, the most accurate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Team Walsh here.
Not good. Not good. A good week.
Not good.
Another week without Haaland. Tough. I mean, yeah, it was nothing if not a mistake to take Haaland out of my team.
I think we don't 100% know yet until this game and next game, where they're the only 2 weeks of the season where he maybe won't be the number one cap.
I mean, that's a 0%er because he's already on.
Yeah, I mean, he has more goals than any team in the league.
The last 2 weeks, he's on 60 points because it's double cap on both weeks, and it's. So it's been I got away with it last week.
Absolute fucking max.
Max punish. I mean, I got away with it last week because I happened to get points elsewhere, and Mo, equaled him.
Yeah.
But didn't happen this week, not by a long shot. I mean, Mo was invisible, washed version of himself.
Oh, he was
and everyone
really
was
bad.
Terrible. I mean, the only returns I got were Ollie and Raya. Everyone else was I had a triple 1-pointer in defense with Trent, Lewis, and Robbo, and then I had just blanks everywhere else. It was just unbelievable carnage.
Yeah.
And
yet you're still 180K.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the thing where it feels so bad is that I obviously used all my chips, and then and I, we talked a few moments ago that everyone's really bunched up, but it just feels so bad to like give it all back right away, almost like this week,
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
And
I mean,
that's
I was 20K.
why I said kind of at the beginning, like, this is the week that's going to test us, sort of.
Yeah,
because
the next 2 weeks, like
your team is still fucking good. But Haaland is not the best cap. And we'll see how it goes,
Yeah, but that's where it is for me is like this week, the best I can hope for is going back to where I was last week. Right. So like that's how my sights are angled is like the best case scenario, and that's just bad. Like that's a bad job. So
yeah, I mean you had an 8 million gaming crank.
It's not high.
Not high. But yeah, I think overall things are mostly fine.
I mean the Raya dude, it's fucking Raya. Thank you.
I'm gonna have to defer the league updates because didn't do them. Fuck it. All right, dude. Game week 5. On to game week 5. But what are we talking about from last week? Where do you want to begin?
I want to start. I think Eze is the biggest talking point.
Oh God, dude, how fucking disgusting was that?
It was really. I was so elated.
Was a gut punch.
Yeah, I was just so elated for maybe like 75 seconds between the pen and then watching bald, huge tucked in shirt.
Yeah, I transferred in Pedro and Eze, and I'm like, oh, Pedro doesn't fucking not even in the squad. Hurtzler, fraud, blah, blah, blah. Eze saves the day. Here it comes.
10
Max Bones, easy. Fuck me.
Fuck us.
So Mishka said, do we hold Eze and hope? Heim said, is Mateta straight in? Does he make it into the 3 best forwards on the wild card over Watkins or Kai? JB is Munoz an immediate sell? He's wildcarding in 6, but still maybe an immediate sell. And Ferguson said, our Palace now just a large garbage barge that should be fire sold.
Well, I mean, these are all obviously Palace questions, but where do you stand with Eze? I mean, we didn't know, obviously, ahead of the game, but Glasner said, we have Mateta and Eze, 2 pen takers, and then he lets them sort it on the field. I mean, where do you stand with Eze?
It makes it more annoying that he said that.
Well, yeah.
Way more annoying.
I agree. Because now it gives us more. Oh, I'll take the next one. They'll take turns.
The trepidation of Saka Odegaard handing each other pens because they're friends or something like that situation. But I mean, it's hard to sort of like rank how much of a downgrade it is, if you know what I mean. Like, all I know is it's a big fucking downgrade because he just got from Saturday till now, he just got -5 goals on the season. You just subtract 5 random 10-point hauls from the season. And that's really fucking bad. That makes him from a great auto pick to he's an okay pick. The fixtures aren't good. Home Man United, away Everton might be really good, but who knows when Brandt is coming back. Home Liverpool, at Forest, home Spurs. I mean, it's just not good. This is not a player that you would bring in for this fixture run if you knew ahead of time he wasn't on pens. And now we have him, and we're just like, fuck, I'm not even sure this is a good pick. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. I mean, he's never going to be a bad pick because he's still a good player, but he's a bad pick.
Yeah, I mean, he's just not the best pick. Like,
in what universe would you buy him from this point forward? There isn't one.
I think it would have to be a really good fixture run. That's what I was kind of trying to say. I mean, maybe 10 through 14 at Wolves, home Fulham, at Villa, home Newcastle, at Ipswich or something, or 18 through 25, whatever. Point stands. You would never buy him for the run that he's currently on, and yet here we are with him. It feels fucking horrible, dude. It's terrible. It feels like I just lit a free transfer. Well, 2 free transfers on absolute fire.
Also, fuck that. I mean, he had the goal Gameweek 1 rolled out because of the ref thing.
Yep.
And then this one, I mean, you're looking at, he could be on 30 to whatever, 30 some points, top 4 mid in the game.
It could be Mo, Diaz, Saka, Eze right now.
Yeah.
Easily.
And it's like, he's just a beta, and that's what we're seeing before our eyes.
I know. Mateta puts his foot down. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's literally what's going on here. So I don't want him. I feel like I'm going to get rid of him as soon as I possibly can. I'm going to keep him this week because I'm saving for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he still has avenues. He's still classy. He still shoots a lot. I mean, but this is just the power of pens where it's like, we have a really bizarre layout of our fixtures where we actually don't have a good fixture window at any point this season, which happens to some teams sometimes. Like I think
the run I laid out is good enough.
I don't agree because I mean you're looking at some tough aways and Fulham are always a tough game. Ipswich is it, but I mean then you're looking at 5. I don't think Fulham's good. I think Villa's pretty poor. I mean Newcastle, we don't know what they're going to look like in November. Yeah. But, regardless, I mean, a team like us, like a good fixture run, I mean, you're looking at, you want in a 5 or 6 game week window, like multiple home games with
promoted
a home and away of the promoted sides. And like, we just don't have that.
Yeah.
Maybe things will change. We're just looking at it now. And when you don't have that, the pens are the things that buoy him to be feeling like in your head is like an elevated pick where, okay, well, there's a bad one, there's a good one, there's a medium one, there's a good one, there's a medium one.
Yep.
Doesn't matter. We win a pen. All Necktie was doing the whole game was diving. Like, we're going to win probably 7 pens this year between Eze and him. And like, that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And
he'll take
like
maybe
said,
2.
Yeah, maybe he'll take 2. So you're subtracting 40 points from his total. So he's going from knocking on 190 to being like 150. And that's just not a pick.
Yeah, I think a lot of people listening to this probably are thinking like, oh, we're overreacting. He's still good. But here's another way to put it. Imagine a world where Bumo's not on pens. What are we talking about? No one's transferring him in.
Yeah,
he's on the 15th best team at best in the league. And they barely score, and all they do is fucking set piece and throw in play. Like, I'm good. Easy pass on Bumo. And yet I'm sitting here, it's Gameweek 5. They're at Spurs, and I'm like, I can't believe I don't have Bumo on my team. I'm a fucking idiot for not having Bumo on my team.
Especially with the way the bonus points are this year. It seems like if you score a goal, you're at least getting a bonus point, if not all of them. So, as it's just unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, I had a little note in my phone going this week, and after that moment, I had to start it in my. This is how I get my frustration out. I was like, "Who actually ticks every box?" Because Eze just got removed from that list, and the list is very fucking short.
Yeah, they're
it's
probably
Saka,
4 players.
It's Bumo, it's Bruno,
Palmer.
Is Palmer?
No, I don't think Bruno's on the list. Okay. Honestly, because his open play threat is too low for me.
Decreased. Yeah, all right.
It's just
Bruno's off the list.
Low. Yeah.
So it's Saka, Bumo, Palmer, and then the one cheap guy that no one talks about except for me in preseason.
Clivert.
MGW.
No.
Yes.
No.
Every box is ticked.
He's also like he doesn't shoot.
He shoots sometimes. He shoots enough.
Maybe once a game.
No, he shoots more than that. I mean, against Liverpool, he doesn't shoot, but he shoots enough.
I'm not with you on MG. I mean, I feel like we've reversed roles with MGW where I had him on Wolves before they transferred him to like the flamp. And he was like removing. I mean, I'm good at that. I do that every year.
Yeah, you've done that multiple times.
But he plays deep. He doesn't shoot. He's not on set pieces anymore. He's actually not on set pieces anymore.
Yeah.
So he's
you're
not
right. You're right.
We don't know he's on pens. Like you could show me Wood taking the next pen. Like this could be a Mateta situation.
They only won one pen. They only won one pen last year because they're Wolves, and he took it, but Wood wasn't on the pitch. Okay, I'm removing him. So it's Saka, Buma, Palmer. That's it.
From the midfielders.
From anyone. Any forward, midfielder, defender, everyone in the game, those are the only players who take every box.
I think it's a little bit unfair to compare I think like the set piece situation, just because strikers don't take set pieces, like I think they have to be sort of removed in that way,
but
right?
it's a box for me though. That's why midfielders are better and score more points. I mean, that's part of
Son?
it. He's almost definitely on pens. I don't think he takes corners anymore.
Matto's doing it, and some idiot.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue for that, but also we're not 100% sure he's on pens. Also.
Yeah, that's true. It could be Dom, right? You're saying?
Could be Dom.
I mean, he's the captain.
He hasn't taken a corner this season.
Okay, so he's off corners, which is probably good to conserve his energy because...
Yeah. There was a time when I remember he was like taking a lot of corners and he was getting some cheeky assists. Yeah, he took 150 corners in 21 season, but I think it's those three guys are the only ones who tick every box. And that means like open play goal threat, open play assist threat, set pieces, pens, corners.
Yeah. Yeah, as Mo's not on set pieces.
Yeah.
Indirect, right? Yeah.
It's just the avenues. I was talking about the avenues last pod, right? Or maybe that was the Thursday pod.
Saka's only in half the corners, but
half the corners is pretty good.
Yeah.
But like Trent, right? Like you don't consider clean sheets an avenue, but he would be on 0 points if clean sheets weren't an avenue, right? And he got 3 cleans, even though everyone missed his chances. So it's just something I was looking at.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's interesting. Removed.
Eze's off.
Yeah, he's off the list.
Yeah, it's such a nightmare.
Maybe it should just be not you have to be on corners or you have to be on set pieces, but combined, like you have to enough dead balls.
Yeah,
that it's like it should be like a number. I can easily make this like a chart or something where it's like you have to pass these thresholds.
Yeah, well, I guess it's also like ranking the value of the set pieces. I mean, direct free kicks are the most valuable. Indirect set pieces from like elbow range, and then corners last. So
those are probably similar. Like the corner crosses to corner cross to like an elbow cross. I'm sure they're like not that different. But whatever. Probably it's just something interesting.
Yeah, so definitely.
But what about Mateta? I mean, is he now just like this equally makes him a much better pick because he just added 5 goals, right? So that's alarming in a good way, right? I mean, he's a pick.
He's a pick. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. I mean, he was already flirting with pick status, and now, look, I mean, we've had a really tumultuous couple months here.
Bad.
And now that we have the squad that we have, I feel like Glasner is going to be able to kind of, get... And we have low-key had a lot of changes, like a lot of changes since last year.
So many changes.
I mean, it's in the engine room, it's at center back, it's at wing, it's like almost every area of the team has been. I mean, it's a bad job
that it all happened in the last fucking week of the window, except Elise. Yeah. Like, it just...
I mean,
this team does not know each other.
Yeah, it happened, it's done with, and now here we are today. So I do think that we will continue to improve as the season progresses. And Mateta 7.5, just good. Neckty's good. We have good players. We're going to keep playing better. And I think that, we're going to be in good shape in about a month or so.
Also, I don't know what the hell he's up to, but watching those highlights, and he's been sniffing glue or something. I think he's huffing nitrous before every game as a warm-up, and it's like, he just looks like he's 45 years old. Can't turn, can't run.
Yeah.
All his touches are bad. I'm like, what is this? This guy is so good, and now he's bad. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, he looks like he needs a few weeks off, honestly.
Yeah.
No, it's not coming. I also think that there's a lot more responsibility on his shoulders with Anderson gone. Like, I think Anderson was more like kind of like Van Dijk, like telling everyone where the fuck they're supposed to be. Yeah. And now I think that's falling leader. Now I think that's falling on Gay to like set the line and, do all that shit. And he's
playing with fucking Seltzer on his left and Klein on his right. And it's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, if you have to compensate for playing with Klein, anyone's going to look bad playing next to Klein.
And Dean Hendo behind him.
So we've got it. And like Munoz, right? Mentioning Munoz earlier. Yeah, it's the defense is just not there at all. So you just shouldn't. Yeah, you shouldn't have any of the defenders. LaCroix just came in, and it's going to take some time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Speaking of Palmer, actually, because we did get 2 Palmer questions. And Mishka said, deep analysis of the Chelsea game. What did you learn? What should expectations for Palmer be? And then he lists all his stats, which were bad. And then Elron said, any concerns about Palmer? I'm thinking of using him as a cash cow next week. So, what is he? A couple weeks removed from a 50-pointer. And, he had a 17-pointer, 6-pointer, 1 blank, and now everyone's selling. What's happening?
It's an overreaction, but I think there are some warning signs that are worth taking note. He's just sort of peripheral in a lot of aspects.
Definitely was in that game.
Yeah, and it's Wolves. I think are we'll come on to Wolves when we talk about Wolves later. But outside of that, it seems like the enemy is just, okay, let's mark him and take him out of the game, and then we'll deal with the rest. And he's not really getting into threatening positions so much. And, he's doing a lot of his work, around the edges and in peripheral areas of the pitch.
Yeah.
And, he has a lot of avenues, as you mentioned previously, with the pens and all the other bits there. But, he's expensive. And when they make 3 attacking subs every game, and it's 3 strangers for 3 strangers, and they play on, Thursday all year, it's like, what does this team gelling look like? And when it does gel, who's taking the shots? It's probably not going to be Palmer that much, It's almost, to me, I feel like he's kind of going to turn into like Özil, where he's like, look, last year he got 10 penalty goals, and he did score a lot of really beautiful goals. And I'm probably going a little too hyperbolic in terms of like decreasing Palmer's goal output or potential. But last year he scored 22. That will be his career high. I feel like I would bet any amount of money that he will never score more than 22 league goals in his career.
No one gets 10 pens again. It happens one time ever.
Yeah, and his shot output's not there to level, what you need in open play, period. So, where do his points come from? The assists are nice, but the change of the bonus system really deflates the value of those. There aren't 6-point assists anymore. Yeah, the goal
scorers getting the
6-point
max.
assists aren't a thing anymore. So, where does he land? Probably still hit somewhere in the 180, 200 range, but is he just like a hold forever? I'm not sure. I know last week we were looking at it and saying, okay, he's just underpriced still, and he still might be, but I'm just trying to look at it a little bit more like, how does it go wrong? And I can see how. Yeah. That's it. Like, that's kind of what I was watching on the Bournemouth game, right?
For me, the biggest takeaway from that game wasn't necessarily like, Palmer might be a bad pick. It's Bournemouth is just not a great fixture.
Yeah, Bournemouth.
They fuck everything up. They press you to death. They fuck up your build-up. They
win a lot of their battles.
Yeah, aerial monsters. They win their battles. They're really physical. They just kick the shit out of Palmer. That's what they did. You want to progress the ball to Palmer? We're going to foul him every single time. And
or
just
there are
like,
2 men in front of him, and he can't get past the halfway line.
And like he just couldn't get the ball from that like right space to the center.
And he couldn't find space.
Couldn't find any space ever. And like you said, we'll get to them later. I mean, I think that like, the cap this week, maybe that's where we should go
easily.
next. Yeah, but it's Mo versus Ollie. And we've seen a bunch of Bournemouth games now, and they have not had good fixtures. Right? I mean, like Everton's good, but like now we think more highly of NFO. Home Newcastle's not easy to completely shut them down, and they completely battered the shit out of Newcastle.
They were better than them by a lot.
And then they were better than Chelsea too. They
by a lot.
Miss a pen, lose 1-0, but they were just better.
Yeah.
So that was my bigger takeaway. I mean, I was looking at like some of their stats and stuff. I mean, they're third lowest build-up percentage against, first by a very large margin in the league, and
and
high turnovers.
Fucking pen.
They missed the pen. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so there's gonna be teams that are like the top best build-up teams in the league. Like we would think of like De Zerbi, Brighton. Obviously, he's not there anymore. City, Arsenal. Don't know if Liverpool are. Like big TBD. They haven't really played like a great pressing team at all yet. So we'll see if they can bust through. But yeah, I'm with you right now. I mean, if I had Ollie, I would be captaining Ollie.
Yeah, but I mean, circling back, right? I'm agree with you completely on the Bournemouth standpoint. We have to update how we look at them completely and comprehensively, I think. But going back to the Palmer situation, it's he's again with the Av. He's never going to be a bad pick. Like he's going to get returns. He's going to get points. He's too good. But I definitely think that, if you need money, you can look there. Like, I don't think that's egregious, and he's not in that many teams. And like, do I want Palmer in medium fixtures when I could have Saka in good fixtures? No, not close. Do I want to have Saka in bad fixtures when Palmer has good fixtures? No, I probably want to go back to Palmer. Like,
the way the season has shaped so far is like, there's one must own, and his name's Haaland. And then like between Mo, Saka, Palmer, maybe even Son, we'll see. We're going to rotate. Like it's hard to say now. It's only been 4 games, but it seems like we're going to rotate these guys based on fixtures, which seems right to me right now. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be worried with him. Like you said, never a bad pick, has all the avenues. One of 3 players who ticks every box. He's going to get... pen. They're not going to get no pens,
And the one nice thing too with him compared to the other premium assets is he's not even in the Europe squad. So while they play, it's going to affect their preparation and the cohesiveness and the rhythm of the squad because he plays fucking 4 new players every game is ridiculous. But I mean, this international break player's injured, that's fine. But it does feel that way, that it will be disjointed throughout the season. But for Palmer, he's going to play 90 every game in the league. So that's also a huge boon to his value, which we can't say about even Mo. I mean, we can't say that about everyone.
None of the premiums. Well, I assume Spurs are not in Europe, right?
They're in something, aren't they?
Are they? I don't even know, man.
Let me
check.
They
in Conference League or whatever?
I think so.
Europa League.
Europa League. All right, so they have Thursdays.
They have Karabag. Yeah, so even Son. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he'll rest him, but yeah. Well, we kind of teased the captaincy. I mean, we haven't individually talked about Liverpool or Villa yet, but we could start with cap and then go to either one of them. But I mean, Big Daddy said, is Salah still the best cap this week, or have we seen enough against Forest to second guess? Ozzy, is there anyone you like for captain at all if you don't have Mo? And then Bennett Jitterbug also discussing Mo versus Ollie cap. All the same shit. I mean,
it's hard to answer this before the midweeks because, like,
what would you need to see? Well, like, what would change your mind, do you think? Because for me, I don't think the midweeks matter that much.
So
like,
I mean,
Mo
if
plays,
Ollie and
Mo doesn't play, Ollie plays, Ollie doesn't
so
play.
So worst case is like Ollie starts, Mo doesn't start.
Mm-hmm.
Then what?
Ollie. Yeah, I mean, it's like they both play on Tuesday. Like, they both have like ample time off before the game. Like, I just don't think it matters. I mean, obviously, Ollie, this maybe is going to be a recurring thing with him, his slow starts. I mean, he missed every chance imaginable in the first 3 games. Then he blows up with a 13-pointer. Maybe he's going to be good for the rest of the season like he was last season. But we know his fitness is like, once
usually
he's fit,
fine.
He's a fucking beast. Like, I've never seen him not sprinting.
Yeah.
So I'm not that worried about that.
I wonder what actually was bothering him.
I think there was an Emery thing that said like he came back with like a little niggle or something.
Yeah, but what kind of niggle would one have that they would still start and play an hour? Like, what is that? It's so confusing.
It could be anything. It could be his fucking shoulder. Like, it could literally be anything. Just little pain here, like whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would be, I guess it doesn't matter then midweek. Yeah, I mean, to me, it is definitely Ollie, because Bournemouth are legitimately a good team and Wolves are a joke. Like, I think Wolves are second to Southampton to best attacking fixture in the league based on how they're playing this year. That's just how I see it. That's how I've seen them play all season. And they don't have the personnel to really do anything different. Like, they can't park a bus. They have such fucking bad defenders. And they have no midfield. Like, I mean, Mario Lemina, I don't even know if he's a defensive midfield. I don't know what he is. But, I mean, they just don't have
He's the one player I kind of like.
No, I love him. But I'm just saying, they don't have, like, DMs to play. Like, he seems like he's just doing this thing. And he's, going to be doing it all year, no matter what. And they're just so open. They're just so open.
Am I crazy, or like, were they not playing 3 at the back for like large majority of last season, and just got 3 fucking dudes in there who headed shit out? Yeah, they played like at least by FBref, which isn't perfect. I mean, they basically from November on played 3 at the back in every game.
Yeah, and I mean that's when they were playing 3 at the back.
Yeah,
with like Aït-Nouri was playing wing. Like those games, and but this year they're just playing 4 at the back.
Just, and it's
like
just expansive, Dawson and Mosquera. Shit. That's gonna be good.
Neither of them can do anything.
They're fucking bad. It's just, Semedo and Aït-Nouri defensively are not good.
Well, Semedo's pretty good defensively, I think, but
I guess he's fast.
But no, I mean that's what I'm saying. It's just they're just playing this open. There's so much space on the pitch. Every game I've seen them play this year, and it's. I mean, I think this is like, if they're very exploitable. I think it's a
lot of gambling people were on them as like they're the team that could get dragged into a relegation race.
Yeah, like there were good odds on them or something.
Yeah, like compared to the odds, because everyone just basically has all the promoted sides straight back down.
I wish they had Salah in that. I will say that, but
Salah,
yeah. Yeah,
well, they would be a lot worse.
Potentially.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. And Johnson kind of stole some points from me as a, Isak Gordon owner. I mean, there was like Isak played Murphy and clean through, Johnson save. There were a couple other I could have got something there. Yeah.
So he'll do that. But yeah, I'm Bournemouth are just good. Mo, I think the fixture is not close enough.
Yes.
Which is also really aggravating, because if I didn't go, the main reason why I wanted to get Mo on fucking Wildcard was for this week. And I'm like, it's just whatever.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I kind of had those stats like ready to go for Bournemouth, because, I watched the match, and then like today I watched highlights of all the matches and whatever. And I was just like, dude, what? And then I was trying to just like put numbers to it. I was like, what are they like doing? Like, why is this working? Highlights will never show you any of this shit. But yeah, I mean, they just break everything up. They just fucking are a pest.
Yeah.
And Ariel
they
was
also
just
have
good.
Yeah, I mean, they also just have so many high energy, like Christie, like all of their fucking guys just run an insane amount. Tavernier, Semenyo.
Yeah.
I mean, the
all fullbacks also never go forward. They just fucking challenge you and stick to you and foul you. And then they just go long. That's the other thing. When they attack, they're not fucking Southampton. There's no opportunity to like win the ball and get a chance. They just fucking go long to their huge guys.
To Semenyo, you win every duel.
And then it's just like, go fucking deal with him. Fuck off. It's nowhere near our goal ever.
The one other, we also didn't kind of note, I mean, Sancho looked
He was so good.
So, good. There could be something there. There could be something there. I mean, look, Neto, good player. Really doesn't fit what they do at all. So I don't know how that's going to end up. It's not going to go well for him is how I'm imagining.
The plan of this team, everyone knows is fucking ridiculous.
There is no plan. But
Neto might just be banished already. Like, I would not be surprised. Enzo said he doesn't care about the other guys. He likes keeping a small team. Like, it might just be...
Yeah. Or he just plays on Thursday or something.
Or, I just mean like from Prem.
Yeah, but I mean, Sancho is interesting, especially from a Palmer standpoint where he just never wants to shoot. All he wants to do is facilitate. So I like that. I like that he could potentially take a step forward and get in the team.
Well, Sancho kind of is the same, which is weird and funny, right? It's just like you get Sancho the ball, let him dribble a little bit, he'll create. He also doesn't really shoot.
Because you're saying that's what Palmer's like, sort of, too?
Yeah. So
I feel like Palmer likes to shoot, though. He shoots a lot
he likes to shoot, but maybe he's instructed not to, Yeah, Sancho. Yeah, keep an eye on him. Manchester United could really use him. Yeah, they could. They should buy someone like that. That'd be good. Ollie. More questions about Ollie and just other forwards. I'd kind of just group these all together. People with Kai and Isak. Do we knee jerk to Mateta and Ollie or play it cool? Bolter said in previous seasons I would punt on Ollie, transfer Isak out, even though I'm wildcarding in 6, which is something we kind of talked about on the last pod of just like the interesting decision that we have now with the 5 transfers and rolling the frees. I guess we can just start there. The other ones are about other forwards. Where do you see that? Like using a free, let's just say, use Bolter's example, use a free, Isak to Ollie, even though I'm wildcarding and get in 6. So you're like basically burning a free for 1 week punt, but you're going to wildcard and have 1 or 2 or 3 frees.
Well, it's not a 1 week punt. It's a 2 week punt because you're captaining him. So you get double. So I think it's
I like that thinking.
I would definitely do that. Definitely. Cap Ollie, bring him in for sure.
Yeah.
Any other thing you tell me, I would not sign off on that 1 week move. But this is like kind of touching on both of our teams. I mean, where are you at with Isak and also not having Ollie? Like, how do you see this cookie crumbling? Or I
mean, it just feels really ridiculously stupid to not have Ollie right now.
Is it just for this week because it's Wolves and the Haaland thing, or is it just like for the next?
No, I mean it's
month?
Wolves and Ipswich, really. It's like the next 2, and that was I had like a plan at some point that like, I'm gonna get Ollie, but I kind of got scared off it because he played 60 minutes every game and was missing every chance. He finally came good, so good for everyone who has. But yeah, I mean, if Isak wasn't hurt, let's just say Newcastle still win that game. Isak probably gets a return if he's on the pitch. I would probably just suck it up and just be like, just going to stick with it, hold my free. Like, it sets me up better long term. But with Isak hurt, probably concussed. I mean, I'm no fucking doctor, but again, the vision blurry thing is a little concerning. It seems worth it. Does it matter to you how many frees the person's on? Because I do think that's a factor.
Because if you have 3 or 1 or whatever.
Yeah, because if you have 1 and you make this 1 move and you wildcard, then you're just going to have 1 after wildcard. And you better have gotten a lot of your picks right. Because if not, like that's a little, you're in the normal season kind of like scary
I think in terms of doing the move, it doesn't matter because I think having Ollie captain compared to Mo or anybody else is enough of an edge. I think where it comes around is, how aggressively can you plan your transfers with your wild card if you have 1 versus 3 or 4, right? Because we're going into this, the bad City and Arsenal. So, how many of them do you have to stash? Probably more. So you might have to go a little thin on the edges on your wild card and, because if you're doing it now, you don't have it for this week.
Right.
No, it's for this week. No, give in 6.
Wild carding in 6.
I'm getting fucked up. Yeah, so I don't think it matters. I'm mixed up. I'm thinking if you're doing it now.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah. I don't think it matters. I think because when you do it in 6, you're getting the Arsenal players. You're doing the things
it's easier to make a 6 team than it is to make a 5 team. But the only part that makes it weird, and it's hard to talk about specific teams because everyone's in a different situation. But with Andy on our live stream, right? It came down to actually, dude, you should just rip wildcard on the last day of an international break to save your transfers, which is kind of where I am. And the fact that I might have to wildcard is if I don't get any João Pedro update, no Isak update, they're both fraudulent managers who aren't going to say anything anyway. Then I'm sitting here with a team with 2 maybe not players, Nico who might not start, Barco's not in the league, Cigars. I could use my 2 frees, right? I could double change, get Ollie, cap Ollie, whatever. But then I'm on no frees versus I could just wild card, have 2 frees afterwards, and I'm in probably a better spot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what people should do, with that information. It's maybe if you can just use 1, you do it. But if it's more, you wild card early.
Yeah, the contextual nature matters here, but I think it's just some of the same processing of, how should I be looking at this applies. It's tough. It's a tough call. It's an interesting call. I mean, when we keep talking about this, how much more fun the game is with this rule change. So much just adds so much more complexity and so much more, thought behind, it's not just, dead end because you lose it or whatever. It just makes the game a lot more interesting.
Yeah. Because this would be in a previous season. This would not even be a decision. Of course, use your frees before your wild card.
Yeah,
you have to, or you burn a free.
Yeah, you just do it. It's almost automatic. You're just an automaton kind of thing. Yeah.
So,
what about DCL?
Great pick.
I mean, ever since we declared the error, he's come back with a vengeance with his bullet. 18 in the last 2.
All I was saying on LR Pod is DCL's a pick, McNeil's a pick. Look at that. Fucking haul. Dude, I can't believe they went up 2-0 again and blew it again, though.
Can't you?
Absolute shithouse team. But I still think they're picks. They're still picks. McNeil's 5'4", DCL's 5'9". Hard to find guys in that price range who are better.
I mean, look, we talk about DCL as pens, and I mean, why is McNeil a pick? Just run this through again for me, because he's never been a pick since he's been in the league, which has been for 7 years.
Yeah, I think it's just more a really long run of good fixtures, and McNeil is this rare weirdo who, I mean, there's probably others in the league. Maybe Kevin falls into this category, but probably not because of Doku and Bill and whatever. But if there's a chance, he's assisting it. He creates literally every fucking chance imaginable for their team. And there's just not, it's sort of like the talisman bullshit, but for assists. Because all their chances are get the ball to McNeil, cross, set piece, McNeil cross, free kick, McNeil cross. And he sometimes shoots and scores worldies and whatever, but it just, are they going to score goals? Are Everton going to be fine? I still think they're going to be completely fine once they get guys fit.
So do I.
Dyche is too good. And they're going to score goals. They just scored 2 against Villa. They're going to score goals in this run of easy fixtures. And he's going to rack on the assists in this stretch. That's it. And he's 5'4". It's just free real estate. Assist versus Bournemouth, who we just aforementioned best team in the league, Bournemouth, we just talked about. And then he fucking hauls ass versus Villa, easy. And now he has a fucking What's the run? At Leicester,
It's
home
good.
Palace,
It's
home
really
Newcastle,
good.
at Ipswich, home Fulham, at Southampton, at West Ham, home Brentford, at Man United, home Wolves before Liverpool
it's
Arsenal.
good.
It's fucking insane.
I mean, I'm sure they're knocked out of every cup already. I mean, they don't have a lot of other things to focus on.
Yeah.
McNeil.
They don't even have the luxury of focusing on anything else because they'll get relegated if they do. They have to win games.
So go back over to DCL. I mean, where is DCL leapfrogging Ladro here? Because he is to me.
I mean, fucking a million times, yes. Ladro's not even playing.
I mean, the run is not even, it's night and day.
Yeah. He's a legit good pick. The problem is we only have 3 forward slots. And there's him, there's Kai, there's Ollie, there's Haaland, there's fucking Dom, there's other guys who will emerge too. But yeah, he is a good pick. I think that I haven't really played with a wildcard team for now, but there's a good chance, but there's a good chance that if I need an enabler, I mean, 5'9", good, nailed 90 every game, pens. I mean, the only thing he can't do is being a one-on-one, but that's okay. We'll get over that.
Could be.
I don't know. Other forwards, though, people are asking. I mean, Ozzy said, what are your thoughts on Kai after this next game week? Easy hold, or do we try and get Saka instead? And Mish said, is it Dom time? Solanke time again? A lot of forward action.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really uninterested in Solanke.
Should we talk about Spurs Arsenal now?
Sure. I mean, they're doing the same thing that they did last year, and it's just nothing's changed, and he just showed up. So they have Thursday. They have a pretty good run of fixtures, but
yeah, it's kind of a good time for them. Yeah. If I were to wild card now, it's I could.
Yeah, I mean, they have one bad fixture until Christmas, basically, at City in November 23rd, Gameweek 12. Every other fixture is pretty good. It's
actually kind of a crazy run.
Yeah, it is kind of a crazy run, but I think the pen, this is similar to Eze. It's the pens are just such a huge deal to look at him. Yeah, well, I just feel like I'm operating under the assumption that the captain and player who has not missed pens for them over the last couple of years will take pens still, and it's Son. So,
I agree. He's probably one of their highest ever goal scorers also. Yeah. He's the guy.
So, I mean, if we're operating under this pretext that he's not on pens, it's just I don't see him beating out these other players that we're mentioning for a spot. I just don't see how he's shouldering past any of them in the pecking order. If he had pens, I think he'd be in. He'd be in the top 3.
Yeah.
But as it stands, I think he's just on the outside looking in, and it's interesting. I'm Son just cooks my head so much all the time because I've had such an up and down relationship with him FPL wise over the years. Some years it's amazing, and some years it's awful. And I was pretty out on him at the end of last year, just this player is not good anymore. And still, I look at the run and I just think he's playing.
He has starting. A couple braces, right? That's all it is. It's he's gonna blank, and then he just pops up with a brace, and it's fuck, Son, classic.
Yeah, I mean, 10 isn't a good price, and the brace he had against Everton was very fortuitous. I think it was.
Yeah, I mean, it was a joke.
pretty lucky, but and then he's been basically invisible for the other 3 games, and he's going to play as long as he's fit. He's starting he's just going to keep starting. They don't have the team is it's his team. So, I'm a little bit interested in Son. I don't know if I would actually pull the trigger and put him in my team, but
that's a wild card pick potentially, not someone you're necessarily transferring, right? It feels like you use your transfer on higher impact. People want Mo this week, people want Saka next week, or Ollie this week, whatever, guys you might captain and stuff. Son just feels sort of, if I wildcard, I could find a way that he's in my team. And I feel no one has him. There's no way anyone has him.
No.
Literally no one.
You'd have to be insane to have him. He looks like a terrible pick. He's been playing badly. The team is kind of
he's
fucking
8.7% owned, and there's millions of Koreans in the world. So you have to factor that in. He's basically negative percent owned if you factor that in.
They don't all look the same though, as his teammate Will
Bentancur, who played through it. Yeah, with the fucking scumbag Bentancur.
He played through that difficult take of his, but
Jesus Christ. Yeah, Spurs. Oh man, they are so frustrating to watch, and they're just like. They're Southampton on steroids. Like they're just like, we're going to fucking dominate the game, but also never create a good chance ever.
Like I think I was at the end of last stream. I was talking with Jack Ladd about Bruno and how there was that one. Did you listen to the Anfield rap when Neil did the solo show, the trends? He was by himself.
Know.
I don't think I've ever heard.
So. It was that like this week or something?
It was a couple weeks ago.
Okay, no, I definitely didn't hear that then.
So it was like a solo show where it was just him talking. It was like a half an hour, and he went like he left his body talking about Man United and not Bruno, just talking about Man United. And just how long they've been so bad, like how bad they've been for how long.
It's fucking crazy.
Not only based on like the public perception, but also just the numbers, like how bad they've been, genuinely how bad they've been.
Yeah,
and. It got me thinking, I mean, I always listen with the FPL lens on and about Bruno of just like, he's 8'5" and he's bad. Like if Bumo was 8'5", we'd be like, oh, like, okay, like it's
straight
okay,
in. I would still immediately get him. Yeah.
But I mean, it's just like thinking about where is Bruno at compared to the other midfielders. Like he's not 8'5". He should be 7. Like
he should be the same price as Bumo.
Yeah, like their attack is the same as Brenham, kind of.
Yeah.
And, he doesn't even play striker. I mean, he's living off this previous reputation of his first year or two under Ole and, where they were attacking out of control. They got a couple extra pens than they typically do. And like he banged in these huge years, but it's sort of similar to me thinking about Spurs, where it's like, why is there all this price inflation on a team that, to me, when I watch them, just feels mid-table? Like their attack looks mid-table, like it looks just as good as all the mid-table teams. It doesn't look top 4. It doesn't look top 6. Like, why would I spend 10 million on anyone on their team? Like they don't perform to that level at all. And like it's back with Son is like living on previous reputation. I know, he just had 200 points last year, but I think there's a lot of mitigating circumstances
he played striker
there.
though. That's a different thing.
He played striker.
Right?
Yeah,
he got, double digit striker. Of his goals were at striker. And
played striker, no other comps, like a lot of, over his XG as he normally does, but you still have to mention that.
Yeah.
And so I just look at this team and I'm like, there's so many more reasons why I against Son than for him, but I still like a moth to flame. I'm like, Son? Like
same. Yeah. I mean, honestly, if Man United had 9 good fixtures in a row, I would also in a world where I'm like maybe wildcarding, I'd be like, maybe I just hold Bruno for 9 and hope he gets 2 pens and 2 assists and 1 open play goal. And I'm like, that's good. That would be amazing if you got that.
Yeah, that's 1 and 2.
But too bad they already played Southampton, so they got their free win out of the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, all that
Arsenal.
to say, I mean, yeah, that game was just like, I don't know.
What game? It was a non-game.
Nothing happened. Arsenal were very happy with nothing happening. And then Saka, one of 3 players who ticks every box, ticked one of his boxes and gets a fucking assist. Yeah, he scored a corner.
I'm starting to get a little bit... I mean, I know that, with Arsenal, we're looking at them having some injuries, so things are a little bit difficult there. But,
missing a lot,
I mean, they played 4 games. They've scored 6 goals. Not a lot of goals.
Yeah.
I'm starting to kind of look back at, is this just going to be the most conservative Pep team we've ever seen? And they literally set out to keep it 0-0 as long as possible.
1-0
thinking that they're going to just fall into the goal off the set piece or the Saka moment of brilliance, because they don't commit men. They don't gamble. I mean, they don't really do much of anything. They just stay in control and command. And I mean, should we be like, we're looking at like, oh, Kai, Saka, like,
I mean,
do you think it's just
home Leicester, home Southampton?
Yeah, I mean, do you think it's been because it's been the start of the season, this little first 3 game week thing, and then injuries, and they're going to score 5 and 6 sometimes, or is this going to be? I mean, They play every 3 games.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, the schedule's been hard, really hard. Home Wolves, they were not great, but they scored 2 and just killed the game. Away Villa, they were bad and scored 2 goals and killed the game. Brighton, they actually piled on the most, attack I've seen from them all season. I feel like they created many good chances, even in the first half, at 11v11, and then down a man, they kept racking up even more chances on the break with Kai and Saka. So that was almost the most encouraging attacking performance. But then, no Rice, no Ode, but also I think and this is sort of like a larger point that I had in my notes, is just like everyone kind of played bad after the international break. Every team that was favored by a goal or more, you either lost that bet or pushed that bet.
Yeah.
They all,
really weird one.
City could have been down 3-0. They come back and win 2-1 on, weird goals. Liverpool lose to Forest. Palace were one of them. They fucking 2-2. Brighton were one of them. They 0-0.
Right, yeah, they lost 0-0.
Villa are the only one that pushed. Every other bet lost. Villa were down 2-0, and they're the only one that pushed.
Yeah. Well, Man United, but
but they were not favored by that much because they're Man United.
Yeah. And they also could have been down 1-0 in that game.
And they also should have been down 1-0. Yeah. So everyone kind of just came back really sleepy, and they're missing Rice, and they're missing Odegaard.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it was almost just him being like, well, first of all, this is maybe practice for Etihad. We just need to sit on it, take our chances, play smart, play controlled, 0-0, prepare for the 0-0. But then also I just think, home Leicester, home Southampton, it's like they can't not score. I just think they're going to be parked in the attacking third the entire game in both of those.
That's fair.
But it's not been encouraging. And we haven't even talked about Liverpool lose 1-0, don't even reach 1 XG at home. Another just flat performance of all these teams after the international break. And it's just what do you do? I kind of grouped Newcastle and Liverpool separately from the others because both of them were, Liverpool was the best attack in the league last year. Newcastle were 5th best, by the numbers last year. They both Liverpool get 0 goals. Newcastle somehow get 2 goals. Right? It's like a Shar worldy deflection, Barnes worldy. They had a couple other chances, but it didn't feel like a 2-goal game. And yet, I'm they had Liverpool specifically, they were just in the final third all day in transition.
Yep. Whole game.
A huge chance, misplaced pass. Huge cutback chance, misplaced pass. So it's hard to quantify it because it's either you believe NFO is not actually this good and their defense isn't this good, or you believe Liverpool aren't that good and the first 3 games were an anomaly. Or, what am I led to believe here? I think Liverpool, we both think they'll be on track. They'll be fine. It was a weird, bad game. Newcastle have been really weird, bad start to the season. But again, space everywhere all the time, just missing on the execution.
Posts, missing things. And it was a bad day in the office for Liverpool, obviously. And, bad days in the office typically happen when you're away from your colleagues for 2 weeks and you're working another job with new colleagues for 2 weeks. It's that's what it is. It's fucked up. And all of the things can be true, right? NFO could have played well and, gotten a little lucky, a little rub of the green and, limited the things. And, but I think the infrastructure and the way Liverpool have looked the first 3, give us a little bit more than just, thinking that there's something broken here. I'm not there. With Newcastle, though, I think it's more of I'm still panicking about them. I think that they look, I think you were off, but in Discord, just they're in fucking 4th place. They've been probably the worst team in every single of their 4 games they've played. actual. Like they were down to 10 men. Well,
definitely in the first one, down to 10 men.
Yeah,
definitely Bournemouth beat the fuck I thought they were. I thought they were better than Tottenham.
Again. Yeah, I mean they had some counter
dominated in the way that Tottenham do.
Yeah, I mean they did the thing, but like Wolves could have beaten them 4-0, and I would have been like, oh yeah, that's what I watched.
Yeah, I didn't watch that match, and I was stunned when I looked at the numbers and watched the highlights because you were texting me like Wolves had a million chances, could have been 4-0, but like in the numbers and the highlights, it just was not that. I mean, they had the one tap in that was great. And other than that, it was like, yeah, just a couple like mid-tier chances. So I was surprised because it didn't match what you were seeing.
Yeah, you need to actually watch it. Like, I don't know, the numbers are the numbers, but there were so many times where there was like a good move where there was some type of lopsided situation going on, and then one of their bad players, which is like 9 of them, like did something stupid. Strandlar, whatever it is. But by and large, like they were just winning every one-on-one. Like it was just Wolves were just, let's go 1 versus 1 everywhere on the pitch. And they just beat them everywhere on the pitch, pretty much the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to talk me out of Newcastle defense. I've been so selling on them for like 6 months. And I feel like this game just like re-emphasized that point. But where it's hard with Newcastle attack, again, it's like, I feel like I'm like making excuses for their attack every week, but it's also not wrong, right? It's like Gordon's still creating chances, still hitting the post, still looks eye test good. Isak's like creating some chances, but like gets fucking concussed. Okay, like fuck me, bad luck or whatever. They created some big chances late in the game when it was even more open. Tonali and Barnes had big chances, and
I
don't know what to make.
I think the manager is terrible. Been on that record for years, and he's just playing Longstaff. I mean, they have a couple of players that are so. Yeah, I mean, they have a couple of players that are completely incompetent that ruin everything, and like even to the point where I look at the defense and I'm like, why the actual fuck is Tripp's not starting again? Like, we couldn't sell him to Turkey.
Comes in for 30 minutes, creates chances,
just
takes
go
set
back.
Pieces.
Go back to the thing that worked. Like, put all the tall guys in the back 3 and just let him play wing and do that and tilt the field. And
you love to talk about a stench. We have not mentioned this Eddie Howe and the fucking
Tyndall.
Director of football, not Tyndall. Do you know about that shit?
Yeah. They
They haven't talked in like weeks. Like the fuck, whatever is it, Mitchell or some shit. Like he's like, oh, the transfers have all been bad, and then Eddie has to like come out to the press and defend the play. I like all the players we brought in. It's like, what the fuck is going on there? They need the evil robot Saudi woman.
Well, she's gone.
I know that they need her.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound or smell good. And, and it's also, right, this is what the criticism I've had of Edward for years is like, he picks the worst players. Like, he picks the worst possible team with the squad he has available almost all the time.
He finally starts playing Barnes, and then he
drops him. For Jacob Murphy.
And then he starts playing Hall, and then he has to drop Hall for Kelly when he puts Barnes in. I can't play Barnes and Hall. I can't play Barnes and Hall.
It's just so stupid. Like, he's so stupid and bad and dumb, and he does such dumb shit every week. I cannot handle the person, and the team's fucking a mess.
And they've won 3 and drawn 1, and yet it still feels like he's on the fucking ropes. Because Mitchell's got a hard on to get rid of him.
He can't wait to fire him. He'll fire him. The first notice he gets that he's allowed to fire him, he's going to fucking fire him.
I know.
I think they need to fire him. I mean, how far are they going? They've already hit the heights with Edward. It was a couple years ago. There's no upside here. Like, this is it.
I did forget to bring this up when you were kind of talking about Spurs and how they're just like mid-table. I was thinking about it earlier. I was like, who's the 4th best team? Because I think that is very not obvious. Because it could be fucking Spurs, could be Chelsea, could be Newcastle could be Villa.
Villa are there. I think Villa. I think it's Villa.
They're okay. I'm not buying stock in them finishing fourth at all.
I would buy that
Brighton.
stock.
I mean,
no, that's insane.
That's not crazy.
I would buy. I think it's crazy. I would buy the Villa stock. I think Chelsea are also reasonable just because of the sheer quality of players that they have at every position is like. You and I could co-manage like Edward Tyndall style, and I think we would do pretty well with Chelsea. We'd do pretty well with this Chelsea squad. Like it's just they have 100-pound players and 50 million pound player backups at like every spot on the team. And they played
mostly well. I mean, the win against Bournemouth was scam, but like they beat the shit out of Palace, which ended 1-1, and they obviously scored 6 goals against Wolves, and they played okay against City, for Enzo's first match. They played fine.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with Villa, look, Europe could destroy them. I do hope that that Ebenings is able to kind of manage the squad, and players like Barkley are going to be really advantageous for them in that regard.
Buendia and the Barkley and Duran and shit. Yeah.
I just the biggest thing with me for them is Duran. Like having another striker that can clearly score goals is something that all of these teams in the fourth place conversation that we're discussing don't have. And, you can make maybe the argument with Spurs. But Chelsea and maybe Spurs to some extent with Rich, but he's never available. So, I don't know if that even counts.
Not really. The argument for Spurs would be like it's Dom and then move Son to striker. It's like the backup solution.
I mean, Chelsea have goal scorers, and and so do Villa. But Villa also have
the winner this week in Cuckoo. He subs on, wins the game.
He subs on. He looks great, and they have a lot of depth there. It's more of like that's a basket case with a lot of new shit going on. Yeah. So how is that going to go consistently? But Villa, it's just like a lot of steady, stable shit with a couple of tweaks around the edges and the periphery with a couple Rodgers coming into the fold, and the defense. We'll see how the defense settles. But when they get Mings back, Diego Carlos back, like all of a sudden you're looking and like okay, like they could fight two. Yeah. They could fight on two fronts. So I mean, if I had to
writing
bet,
them off, but I'm just saying like to me they're just another team in the group. It's not clearly their fourth best.
I'm totally with you. The group is there's a few teams, and like if I was betting, I would bet on Villa.
I do actually wonder what the betting odds are. I have no idea. But I think we have to.
Can I just throw a really rogue thing in there?
Yeah.
I still think that there's really, really something with West Ham this year. Like, I just think that there's something there.
They win the late point. Ingsy?
Yeah.
Fucking Ings.
I feel like Lopetegui, like after a couple months is gone, the first 11 is as good as any team in the league. Like talk about fourth place. That first 11 can finish in fourth place. I'm very certain of that. With Pack and Fullest, Krug, Kudus, Bowen.
Well, Fulkrug has to play before.
Oh yeah, he has to like not go to Germany again. But like Alvarez, Somerville, like they have Todibo when he starts playing with Kilman, like 1B. I mean, they're good. I think they're going to be good. Yeah. And they've been pretty bad so far, but they've had really difficult fixtures. It wouldn't surprise me when they're playing once a week and everyone's back and, he can kind of ride them and get them into the patterns of play that he wants, that they could go on a really big run and be a really tough out for the top teams. Like,
I agree with the tough out part. It's just hard when they're sitting here with 1 win, 1 draw, 2 losses already. They're going to have to leapfrog fucking 6 teams or
10
whatever.
10 teams. Yeah. No, that's fair. I mean, it would take a lot, but I feel like they're one of the more, they're one of the more roguer teams. I really like that. I really like the way the squad looks. So we'll see.
Yeah. And Bournemouth, I like too. I don't think they're fourth, but like they're going to cause a lot of problems.
Clivert on pens now. Pick.
Is he definitely? Because Evan Nielsen's fucking bad at pens.
Should be.
I mean, Tav is also like 2 for 2 in his career or something.
Fuck Tav. But it was the same shit as Glasner. But he said he was like, it's the two of them.
Yeah.
So they chose and they picked, they rolled the wrong
They made the wrong
coin.
choice.
I should have. Yeah. That also fucking is insane to me that managers don't set that initially. Like they're
absolutely
too pussy.
Insane.
They're so pussy to fucking say it's you and not you, because they want to like massage both of them.
It's fucking crazy.
Like it's a democracy on the field when they're emotional and it's
like
insane.
A European football thing that we will never understand, because
that's like saying it's
no
a flagrant
American
foul.
Sport in
it's like
universe.
There's a flagrant foul and it's like you five decide who takes the free throw.
Instead
of like it's
feeling it. It's like, no, our best free throw.
It's ridiculous.
He's the only one that ever takes it, and everyone knows.
It's insane.
And if he's not on the pitch, it's this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, in that order.
It's crazy.
It's really bizarre. We're kind of jumping around. There's one more topic I want to touch on, and then get to questions, and everything else I'll just move until, Friday My Life Thursday pod. But so Wissa's just out for months. Shade's my guy.
Heyo.
Benji said, is Schade straight in with Wissa out for months? I love the matchup for Spurs in the river of green fixtures. Seems great. X50 with Wissa and Thiago out and Brentford having great run of fixtures. Is Schade a pick? Am I crazy, or is Schade just like an incredible pick?
How does he stack up against your other incredible pick, friend?
McNeil? They're the two best picks in the game. No, obviously, if Schade is the striker, he's the better pick.
Striker. He's obviously playing up top with Bumo.
Up top. Well, it's not that obvious, though, because I was thinking about it earlier.
You think it could be KLP and Carv, or what?
Carvalho. Yeah, it could be Carvalho.
You think it could be Well, they're going to play three. All these fixtures, the Spurs is a little bit, but from that, they have a run where they're playing three forward. Yeah. So, it's between...
It seems like when they play a back three, which is not relevant, but I'm just talking it out loud. But
it will be for this weekend.
Yeah, it will be for this weekend. When they play a back three, it seems like KLP is basically left wing back.
Wing back, yeah.
And then they play two forwards. And so we think it'll be Schade Bumo, but it could be Carvalho Bumo.
Yeah.
And then in games where they're, favored, whatever, there's three.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just think that the two with Carv won't work. He's just not an outlet. Like, how is he going to be in the game if it's just him and Bumo?
He's a really weird player, and I haven't watched him that much because he's always been on loan. But I do know, he scored 9 goals at Hull last year. He played forward in like half the games.
Yeah,
he wasn't really playing he's not really a wide man. He's like a number 10 or a 9.5.
He wants to be
kind of weirdo. Yeah. So like, if you're going to ask me, let me put it this way. If both of them get 2,000 forward minutes or something like that, who scores more goals? I think it's Carvalho.
Yeah, for sure.
But Schade doesn't
really score goals.
Better, and like he'll assist more and he'll win pens, and he's just really good. But like, I don't know. It depends what he values, I think.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm with you on Schade. I think he's a really good pick. I do think that he's going to be ahead of Carv on the pecking order.
Me too. That would be my
both
guess.
This weekend and moving forward. I feel like it's going to be more like Carv and KLP maybe fight, and like Damsgaard. I mean, they just don't have. They don't have anybody.
Damsgaard anymore.
No, I know. Well, he plays him periodically, but I mean, they just don't have anybody. So, I mean, you're really looking at Bumo, Schade, and Carv. Like when they play 3 up, that's what it has to be.
That's it. Yeah,
and he'll probably play KLP or he's just not going to play in those games, or maybe it's also KLP because he doesn't want to play.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I fucking love Schade, dude. I was shouting Schade in preseason.
Yeah,
I was like 5'5". He's fucking amazing.
And I was saying like it will take multiple injuries for that to be a thing. And
what?
Here we are, multiple injuries. I think
he's played so few top level minutes. But in those minutes, does really good shit.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and it's really difficult because him and McNeil both have a very similar, very long, very good run. And I mean, if you're on Wildcard, you could build a team with both.
Yeah. No problem with that.
And put money elsewhere. I mean, you could do some funky shit because we're not even talking about Semenyo, but all of a sudden, I had the assist. I don't think he's really a pick, but all of a sudden, we're looking at like multiple sub 6 million midfielders that look good. So, you could kind of...
Dude, an ESR. Under the radar. I know he gets subbed every game, but he's actually been huge for me. 22 points in 4 weeks.
The assist was just everything, and the goal,
and it was a
obviously
sick fucking assist. And he gets, and he gets a bone, and then they had 10-pointer in the other game. I can't ask for more.
Yeah, no, and he could also just be someone that you just hold forever. Like he's just gonna be doing this like all year and just trickling in with points, and the team, just like we've talked about Fulham every year with Milv, is like they play to the level of their opposition. They're fine. They're always going to be fine. They're always going to finish in 12th or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if I wildcard, he's probably not making the team.
He's not in. He's not jumping these other guys. But it's at least another name in that price bracket that if you set your team up in this way, like you've got Semenyo, ESR, Schade, Dwight, these are 4 guys that are under 6 that if you build your team, and Rodgers, we haven't even mentioned, who just can't ever score. I don't even own him, and I'm still offended by what happened. Fine. I own him, starting him every week, basically.
I think I was just rooting for you so hard that it was just too disgusting to even comment on.
Like, there are so many guys in this price bracket that, maybe that is the best way to build the team, because where there are not players are in the price bracket between 6 and 7.5. Yeah. Or 6 and 10.
Yeah, honestly, there's not that many. Kai aside, if we're just talking about midfielders.
Well, he's a forward, but
he's a forward, yeah. So I'm saying forget about him. I mean, there's Kevin Foden, which are just I don't fucking know. They're gonna get some points, but I don't know. Then there's Bruno, Odegaard, Diaz, Jota, who are now both rotation risks, both getting subbed early. Matto, Bowen's a pick. Shout out to Bowen. Shout out to Walsh's Bowen.
Always a pick.
Another
Ever
assist.
Was not a pick.
Yeah, three returns and 4. Good. Yeah, Gordon. I mean, there's really very few guys. Eze gets a downgrade. Martinelli's bad. Rashford, maybe Raz will emerge as the best pick in the actual
I was
game.
also looking at Kevin, how actually insane it is that he's played basically 90 minutes all year, and he's at 2 returns.
It's just impossible.
Crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
He is a pick in Gameweek 7.
If he's still around.
Even Gameweek 6 wildcards, I think that there's a possibility that you have Haaland, Saka, and Kev. Can that be a team? I think it can be a team.
When is he can't play fucking 4,000 minutes though? Is he just gonna fuck? Is he gonna fuck him because he's leaving?
All I know is he's fit now and he's playing now, and he's still the second best player on the team.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. They need to win some games. So, I don't know. This pod could easily go on for another 2 hours is what I'm sensing. So, let's jump to questions, bang some out, move on. You also have Fantasy Champions League you have to navigate.
I'm good. I have my team set.
I mean, Ben asked any fuckle Fantasy Champions League shouts. I don't have any. I don't even know who's playing tomorrow. Who do you like? Who are the fucking?
I don't have my team open.
Who is the best pick in the game, in that game?
Let me open my team. I mean, there are 15 of them, and they're all on my team. Let's put it that way.
There's too many. I opened the thing. I was like, there's too many teams. I'm not participating in this. I will very happily enjoy it from afar.
Yeah. This is going to take my computer 10 minutes to open. So let's
okay.
move on to the next question. We'll circle back.
Well, we just talked about all these glue guys, but I mean, Big Dunks and Jow are kind of asking us to rank the glue guys. Semenyo, McNeil, ESR, Rodgers, Bumo, Bowen. I don't think Bumo and Bowen qualify for glue necessarily. Do they?
Bumo does.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, Bumo's the best of all of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Semenyo just keeps putting up numbers. And they're at Anfield this week, but then it's home. They just have such fucking mixed fixtures. Don't want to play him this week. Don't want to play him in 8. Don't want to play him in 10, which is kind of annoying and hard to navigate. But I guess if you're wildcarding, you can navigate that.
Yeah, I mean, the issue with Semenyo is, as good as he looks every game I watch him, is just he has no avenues. His literal only avenue is open play.
Yeah.
And, when you're looking at the picks around the game, it's hard for that to trump, players that have more than just the singular avenue.
And And it's not like Bournemouth have been good, but it's not like they create a million chances and they're so attacking.
Yeah,
It's like not the case at all.
That's been the case. It could change when they have better fixtures, and they don't have better fixtures for a while. So, we're looking at the next, 5-6. They obviously have the Southampton-Leicester game. Then they have, bad fixtures in and around those. Their really good fixture run starts in Gameweek 11, where they have a really wide berth. But, I think it's interesting, like Semenyo to Schade, for example. And, Schade is going to be playing forward. So Semenyo sort of plays forward, like a little bit more
He's
wingy
wide.
and a little bit wider, but those are close calls. So
I'd rather have Schade.
Yeah, it's also the fixtures matter. Like, maybe you want Schade for the next 5 or 6, and then you get Semenyo. But I might basically with Semenyo is he has to have good fixtures. Like, you're not playing this player in bad fixtures, and that is the same for all of these 5-5 mids. Like. The
literally all of them. Semenyo, McNeil, ESR, Rogers, Schade. Yeah. For sure.
If they have bad fixtures, you don't want to play them. The main difference where it's like João Pedro is interesting or DCL is interesting is that doesn't matter because they have pens. So, where you're putting your 5-5 picks, if it's mid or the third forward or what, all of this kind of adds up to, which one fits best in your team. Just to look at it in those ways, right?
Yeah, totally agree.
All right, I got my Fuckle team up.
Okay, back to Fuckle. Yeah, what are we looking at here?
So we got a few mil in the bank because we don't need that much money in this game. No big deals.
I don't know. I love hearing about it then.
We have Ter Stegen and Di Gregorio in goal. He's the Juve goalie. Classic.
Okay, nice.
Defense is Chan.
Oh my God.
Bastoni, obviously a legend. I love Bastoni so much. Cambiasso, who's some Juve defender who's like playing forward or something.
Coheed and Cambiasso, classic.
Yeah, Coheed and Cambiasso, a classic. Hakimi's in there, love him.
Of course.
Frimpong's in there, obviously, love him. Midfield, we have Pulisic, obviously American, has to have American representation. Raf easy in. Wirtz, didn't have him in Euros, so we put him in here. Musiala, because it's Fuckle.
Oh my God. Yeah, Musiala.
Elise, because, how could I not have Elise? That was the first name I put in my team by easily.
Yeah. Captain?
And then easy captain.
I knew. I know you. I know my pod partner.
Dude, that's the first thing. That's the first thing. It's like, and they play the first thing.
It's like why you play. It's like just to be able to do that. Yeah.
And then I've got Furuhashi up top, Celtic, genius.
Okay.
Gyökeres.
He scores a fucking million goals, right, for Ahashi?
Yeah. He'll keep it up. Gyökeres on Sporting, forward.
Okay.
Genius.
Oh, yeah, that guy's, everyone's talking about that guy, yeah.
And then ADM. Benfica. Back to his roots.
It's because you're watching the documentary. You got Di Maria.
That's right.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's a beautiful
great team. Those are to answer the question previous, those are all the best picks in the game.
Yeah.
Josh B said, keeper talk. Is Raya worth a free transfer if I have Hendo? Let's compare their points and see how that's played out so far.
Raya got more points this week than Hendo has had all year combined.
Raya's on 29 and Hendo's on 8. And if we do the math from earlier, where you're 12 points higher than me and you're 350,000 places higher than me, okay, let me do a little math here. I think I'd be like top 5K if I had.
Goalkeeper matters a lot.
Well, especially if what you were talking about in Discord is true and Raya just keeps farming bones on every clean. Because they're going to keep a lot of cleans, especially when they play like that.
Oh, so far so true. He kept more saves than he typically would, but even if he had a couple less saves, I think he still would have been clear of. Let me have a look over here. What are we doing?
Yeah, he was still 8 ahead of Saka.
Yeah, he could have had 2 or 3 less saves and still, been in a 2 or 1 bonus. Look, the next closest BPS was White on 23, and Raya got 33. That's a huge gap. Huge 5 gap. Saves is a lot, but say he made
every
2
save
or 3.
is worth 2 BPS.
2. Yeah, so if he made 2 or 3, it's only 6 or 8 less.
Yeah.
He's still he's still pretty comfortably clear and, on bones over the defenders.
Yeah.
It's really... Saliba got a card, so he would have been up to 25 if he didn't. It's getting closer, but again, it's back to it's close. And when you get it, he gets 2 more. Dude, he's fucking ridiculous. Ridiculous. It's actually ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I think people who wildcard this week, people who wildcard next week, it just seems like everyone is just waiting to wildcard to make that move. And if you can make the move without having to wildcard, that's even better.
But everyone that was wildcarding this week didn't get him because of the Spurs and the City. I don't know. They got Verbruggen or,
Didn't they listen to me and LR Pod? We were saying he's the only guy to get. We don't get any of the defenders get him.
Yeah. I mean, me too. I mean, we've been saying this for the whole last 2 weeks, but yeah, Raya, dude, it's so painfully obvious. And it's I
mean, who was that fucking, I'm sorry to call out friends from Discord, but who was the absolute fucking savage psycho who wildcarded into Hendo keeper? Remember that moment this weekend? He's who can I get the actual worst pick in his position? This is my guy for the next 20 weeks. That guy needs to he got hacked. Email official FPL, you got hacked. And
he's just using a transfer there, but Raya, it's just so obvious.
Yeah, it's just free real estate. Guy said, 4 weeks in, I still feel like we don't have a strong sense of which teams are actually good outside the usual suspects. Villa and Newcastle are up in the top 5, but feel unconvincing because it's still too early to know.
Yeah,
I guess we kind of talked about that already.
Yeah, and we're going to start looking at a whole new game now that Europe's starting. We're going to have to start taking really close notes on how managers are rotating and how they're using their squad. So, we'll see there. I wanted to ask you also about Rico because got the halftime sub.
That was X50's next thing. He said, "Is it time to start panicking about Rico?"
Yeah, you're an onlooker. How do you see this with him? Arsenal next, Europe starting. Kyle played.
You still just start him every week, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, halftime sub is very unpep to me. And that it was also warranted because that game was completely out of control and they were lucky to not be down 2-0 or 3-0, as Pep also said in the post-match. So, I think it was just a weird situation. They're still integrating Rodri back in, and as soon as Rodri came back in, the game was over. So I still think any time Rico starts, he's the best 4-5 you have. He should start. And in games when he doesn't start, you're just praying he stays on the bench. I still think the same rules apply. Yeah. Especially now that Rodri's back. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, that's how I was looking at it. I mean, people were pretty frantic and panicking about it.
There's nothing it. It's just, I don't know. There's so many complications to FPL, but if everyone was fucking flying this week, everyone in Discord was flying this week, and that happened to Rico, they would just be like, "Oh, fucking love Rico, whatever."
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Because it won't happen
all
next
of
week.
The disasters. It's just fuck, and Rico. I have to fucking
take a hit
hit him out.
Rico.
Yeah, no, just relax.
I mean, the concern with Rico is he starts midweek, which
that would be bad for him. But also, I don't even know if it would be bad for him.
Well, I think
we
it
always
would be because
say it is, but then
I understand. But then you look at that and you think, okay, well, that means he's playing 3 center backs and Kyle against Arsenal.
Yeah,
probably. He's not going to play.
I don't think he'll play versus Arsenal, which also, as you said, is not bad. That's fine, even though that's probably going to be a 0-0. So
should I start him, or we'll talk about it after the midweeks?
I guess we'll talk about it after the midweeks, but it would be nice, I think, to figure it out now before we get biased from the midweeks.
Because to me,
what are your other options?
Well, I have Pau just chilling.
Yeah, Pau home Wolves.
Yeah, I mean,
Greaves at Southampton too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about it. But I mean, to me, I imagine that Rico's going to start midweek and not start against Arsenal. That's how I see this going.
That would be really logical, but I just think Pep is very illogical. And sometimes he does stuff that we don't think about.
So it's not even worth trying to think about it?
I don't really think that this means that. I think it's much more complex than that.
So it's just, if I have him, I need to just don't even think or look at, if he's fit, just start him.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if he's not fit, you can just start him too. He'll still get auto-subbed, you know?
Yeah. No, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I think that's where I come down.
Okay.
Let's see. I don't know. We can probably push all these, I think, to... Well, there's a couple lifestyle ones. Maybe we do those and then wrap it up and push everything else to Thursday.
Yeah, sounds good.
FPL Doom said, why do you support your specific New York teams? Why Mets, not Yankees? Why Jets and Giants and not Giants, Jets? Family reasons, geographical reasons, or other reasons?
You want to go start off with this one?
Yeah, I can start. Yeah, I mean, my dad is from Brooklyn and was a huge Brooklyn Dodgers fan, aka Yankees enemy number one. He fucking despises everything to do with the Yankees, and I was raised that way, and I also despise them. And why Jets? I think it's just my brothers. It's just like the team that we always rooted for. There was no point in my life when I decided. It was just like, oh yeah, I'm a Jets fan. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was more circuitous for me because my parents didn't watch sports or know anything about sports their whole lives. So, I mean, my mom's from Queens and like that's whatever. But for me, it was more just like my friends, and it took me like a few different teams to get to like to the Mets. Like I was like, oh, I like this Iverson. Team or that team, or I like Allen Iverson, so I'm like I like that team. But like I think as I got older into like more middle school age, and you know, I had half my friends are Giants fans, half are Jets fans, half are Mets fans, half are Yankees fans. Yeah. I just got to like pick the ones that resonated more with me at the time, and for me, it just fell into Mets and Giants. So
yeah.
That's how it went for me.
That's how it is. I will say, as a Jets fan, still one of the all-time great sports moments, I think, in both of our lives was you're visiting me with a bunch of our other friends at Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
We're all fucking blacked out insanity.
I didn't black out until after we won.
No, until after, but you know what I mean. Just trying to represent the chaos around us. And then Giants beat the Pats in the Super Bowl. Yeah. So
outside.
Good. Outside.
Oh my God.
Insane.
Yeah.
And then the other lifestyle question was McMarmon. He said, does your love of FPL and sports in general ever create friction with your partner, or is it just me? Wow.
Well, You're newly partnered. How are you doing over there with Shars?
Yeah, I mean, there's a little friction here and there.
Not gonna lie. NGLs.
Yeah, not gonna lie. When it comes to footy, it's easier for two reasons. One, it's my job. And so, you know, I'm like, I got to watch this. Shout out to FMLFPL. Hey, it's an income source. And the other reason is it's fucking early. Not as early as it is on the West Coast, but it's like I can reasonably be like, I'll be done by noon some days. I'll be done by 2 some days, whatever. And we can still do shit during the day, do shit at night. When it comes to NFL, though, it's kind of a hard... It's like when I was single, same with you when you're single. Yeah, you can't do the 1 p.m. to 11 p.m. I'm watching football. That is not acceptable. So you just got to suck it up, and that's just not reality anymore.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a real intense sports fan like we are, it is inevitably fractious.
Yes, has to be.
With your wife. It has to be because it's all you want to do. Yeah. And they don't give a fuck about it. It's like
they could not care.
They could not give a fuck. They couldn't tell you one player and one league, you know, kind of thing. So, but yeah, I mean, it's, you know, you and I have that little cheat card where it's like, oh, we're making money on this, so we have to, in air quotes, have to do it. Yeah. Which is, you know, partially true, but also, you know, we could get by you know, watching games in other times and this and that, but it's fun to watch it live and we look forward to it, so we want to do it. But
exactly.
Yeah, it's all bargaining. Like it's all about, you know, what's reasonable, what are my responsibilities? I mean, I have a kid, you don't, like, so that changes things, and you have to look at the equation and prioritize. Like if I were single, the amount of sports I watch would probably be 400% more than what if not higher than what I watch. I think now.
Higher. When you factor in baseball, it's every fucking night.
I mean, when
3 hours every night. Yeah,
when Lauren's not here, all I do is sports are on all the time. It's not ever off. Like people have hobbies, like they go play golf. Like I just like watching sports. Like that's all I want to do. Like I'm so happy to watch sports. Like I could do it every day, all day. Good. I just love watching sports and thinking about it and all the things. So yeah, like when Lauren's not here for a couple of days, like. I mean, I have Damien, so that's a little bit like, I would just watch sports. Like, I would just watch sports nonstop. And
the one edge I have, and I have to pat myself on the back here because I'm really good at getting people into shit. And Sharon is just in on NFL. She just fucking loves the drama of football, loves watching, loves like the pace of it. She couldn't give a shit about baseball unless we're there, soccer, whatever. Loves NFL. So there's, we do some errands, we do some stuff on Sundays, but then it's like, all right, well, I'm going to come back, put the game on. She's like, yeah, put it on. I'm like, yes. Yeah. I'm going to sit here for the next 8 hours, hopefully.
That's how it goes.
That's how it goes, yeah.
But you can't like watch sports over your relationship. That's insane. So you just have to mature and figure out like.
You have to mature and realize what's actually important.
Yeah. Start a podcast and start earning money and both.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think that the biggest cheat code would be if you had a successful gambling podcast, because then you could spin anything. It's like, no, I got it. I got to watch I put 20K on this. This is a huge match for the, blah, blah, blah.
But you already put 20K, so does it matter if you watched it?
Oh, it matters so much. I got to talk about it. I got the guys on Tuesday. All right. We'll push all the other questions, I think, to Thursday. Let me slap asses. We haven't potted in a while, so we got some asses. We got Max Muir, Taylor Hyde, Ben Eva, Rory Button, William Peck, Benny the Potato King, Stanley Ipkiss, James Sicca, Andrew Corder, Arnie Magnuson, Scalplin, Macklin O'Neill. Yes, baby. Get in here. Thank you for all your new signups. Stanley Ipkiss. That's from a movie or something.
It doesn't sound real.
It's Jim Carrey's name from The Mask. Okay, I knew there was something up there. Good job by you, dude. Whatever your real name is, it's probably Tom.
Aliases online is funny.
You got an alias.
Who are you hiding from?
Like my team name is Alon and your team name is Walsh. They'll never know. Who are you hiding from? Yeah, man. Yeah, God, am I going to rip Wildcard? I don't know. I'll talk to you, I'm sure, all day tomorrow or something.
Or you'll just tell me you did it on Thursday when we play.
Or I'll just sneak attack you. Yeah.
Sneak attack.
We'll see. Any last words? See you tomorrow. Check us out at FMLFPL.com. Follow us on Twitter at FMLFPL, sports page.com/FMLFPL. Subscribe, rate, feed,